Hi, I'm Victor Allen and welcome back to this Coaching for Teachers series. In the first video, we looked at those first few seconds, that 15-second rule, that small tiny window when students decide whether or not they like you or trust you. And your first message, remember, the one you gave without saying a word. Today, we're going to move beyond those first opening moments and look at something even deeper. What happens when they're not only watching you, but now also they're listening to what you say? Because that helps them decide right from the very off what kind of classroom it is that this is going to be, and also, more importantly, what kind of teacher you are. Because from the very first lesson, you're not just teaching content, you're actually shaping a culture. And in that culture, I'm trusting that you're wanting every student to say, I belong here. That's your aim. Most of the advice online will tell you how to make your first lesson engaging, well-paced, how to capture attention, or start even with a clever activity. Now, all those things are really useful, but I'm actually more interested in something personal, how each child feels in your presence, because I personally believe before any student or child can learn and develop and grow, they need to feel emotionally and mentally secure. They need to feel safe, accepted. They need to feel seen, valued. And that feeling doesn't come from the lesson plan or reminding them of rules. It actually comes from you. Because every classroom is made up of individuals, each one carrying their own story, their own energy, their own hopes, worries, distractions. Many of them come to school just to see their friends or feel a part of something. Some may come as a break from the issues that they're having to face outside of school. Some may be there feeling scared because they feel themselves a failure, especially if they can't access the work through their own personal issues, or if the content just feels irrelevant. And they will often express that frustration through their behaviour, not because they're being defiant, but because they don't yet feel safe enough and understand enough to belong in that place. That's why I always say belonging comes before behaviour. So how do we build it? Well, for me, it always comes back to something I call the 3 M's: model, manageable, and meaningful. The 3 things which us and every one of us is checking all the time within our mind to make sure we're okay and we can manage. Let's start with the model. Students, as I mentioned, are scanning and looking. They're looking at you and they're constantly trying to work things out. They're looking for consistency, fairness, calmness. They need to know what kind of adult you are, because when you model steadiness, warmth, purpose, a bit of kindness, consideration, understanding, they will begin to mirror it back to you. I remember working with a group of persistent young offenders, and when I first met them was swearing all the time. Well, I don't swear, but I didn't tell them not to. Just over time, they stopped swearing around me because they knew that wasn't what I was on about. And the manageable part, everything you ask of them, behaviourally or academic, he has to feel within reach. They need to believe, I can do this, or at least I can do this with the right help. And that belief and help starts with you. Show them how to make next small steps rather than giant leaps, or telling them to stop and behave, for example, and do something better. You see, you need to help provide guidance, encouragements, and strategies to manage. And finally, the meaningful. This is the most important over everything. This is the one teachers often forget. A Year 7 student isn't thinking, for example, about exams and career. They're thinking about now, this very minute. So whatever you do needs to connect to something real in their world. Well, their friendship, their sense of fairness, curiosity, even their humour. And when lessons feel meaningful, they learn because it now begins to matter to them. And these 3 M's aren't just for students, they're for you as well, for everybody. Whenever new ideas or approaches we discuss and we feel meaningful, if it feels meaningful, then we're willing to take the next steps to find out how to manage it, even with the pressures we often face. And that's how we grow, not through theory, but through things we can actually do and achieve. So rather than adding another teaching strategy for you, I want to leave you with one reflection for this week. What am I doing each day that helps all the students that I'm responsible belong here? This is the place. This is where it matters. What am I doing? And if you can answer that, even with one small example, you're already beginning to shape the classroom, and they'll remember you for the rest of their lives. Because years from now, when somebody asks them, who was your favourite teacher? They won't talk about the lesson or your starter or your seating plan or the topic. They'll talk about you and how you made them feel. Thanks for watching. In the next video, we'll look at how to bring excellence and fun into that same culture of belonging so that every student feels both proud, joyful, happy. There's a sense of fun at being a part of your classroom. And as always, please remember, be kind to yourself and others out there. Bye for now.